In the bottom of the heart, a hunger resides, greed's insidious whispers where darkness hides. It feeds on desires and insatiable thirst, consuming souls with a relentless burst. In pursuit of wealth, it knows no bound, greed's voracious appetite forever profound. It grasps and hoards, never satisfied, leaving emptiness and discontent beside. Greed's grip tightens like a vice around the soul, blinding eyes to compassion taking its toll. It thrives on excess at the expense of others, leaving behind shattered dreams and broken brothers. In the chase for power, it corrupts the mind, greed's poisoned roots spreading unkind. It breeds discontent, breeding envy and strife, erasing harmony from the canvas of life. But let us not succumb to greed's allure, choosing instead virtues that will endure. For in kindness and generosity we find a wealth beyond measure of a different kind. Let us share and uplift with open hearts and hands, breaking free from greed's restricting bands. For in embracing love and empathy's grace, we find true richness in life's embrace. Choose to want less rather than to have more. For greed is a bottomless pit which exhausts a person in his pursuit to satisfy his desires. Hello and welcome to the last workshop of this week, brought to you by Building Spiritual Muscles. This evening today, Vindri Kaurji will comprehend the various aspects of greed. So are we good to go?
Good evening, everyone. Good morning to the overseas. Sat Sri Akal, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh, and Ram Ram Ji. So we are back again. Today is our 5th day. It's a Friday. So what is the next? That negative energy that gets through the gateways and destroys the subconscious mind. जिसनो ਅਸੀਂ ਮਨ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਖਰਾਬ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਖਰਾਬ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਫਿਰ ਇਹੀ force leads us to a real life, to an artificial life, where we are wearing a mask. So now, today we are going to discuss on greed. We usually call it as lobe. You know, you heard story about the lomri, the lomri, the greedy dog, the monkey. You know, all these stories and all about the greed. What does greed do? So now let us come to know exactly what is greed. Greed hai ki. So greed, you will see on the screen, the first slide that comes, that what is greed? Greed is a selfish, excessive desire. It is a selfish, excessive desire. And what is it? For what? Excessive desire for what? And we are very selfish. It desires for food, money, power, sex. And this desire, this greed or the selfishness grows from where? From ignorance of our own real identity, my one self. We're ignorant that we are the soul conscious. We are not the body conscious. So we are not aware, ignorant about it. And because of that ignorance, what happened? We are got attached over what? To the desires. I have a money desire and I get attached to it. Main bandhana mein phas gayi. So this is the selfish excess desire, is called greed. Now, we'll go on to the next, in which is going to tell you about that. What does this lead to? What does the greed? If you have come to know, it is an excessive desire. Excessive to can then. Even if you see in lust, when you cross the benchmark of desire, it goes to lust. even in this greed, it is what we become very excessive. We also cross the line, but in this is we are very selfish. सानू खाली अपना ही नजर आ रहा है, खाली मैं, मेरी चीज, मैं ही बड़ा, बस that's the thing. मेरा पैसा, मेरा खाना, मेरे बच्चे, मेरी दर्द, that is where it is. It is selfish. So what happens? That this greed, what does it lead to? We'll show you on to the next. I think you can show them a little bit of the video. There is a video, I think, on the selfish. Rimple, can you just show the video? There are two videos going on, selfish, excessive desire. A few seconds, I can show you the video. Selfish, excessive desire. You see that there's a video there. And even in the power, there's a video there.
Often at the expense of others. This behavior can lead to many negative consequences for individuals and society as a whole. Greed can cause a never-ending cycle of desire and leave individuals feeling unfulfilled. It is important for individuals to be mindful of their materialistic desires and focus on relationships and experiences for a balanced life. Greed is the excessive desire for wealth or possessions, often at the expense of others. This behavior can lead to many negative consequences for individuals and society as a whole. Greed can cause a never-ending cycle of desire and leave individuals feeling unfulfilled. It is important for individuals to be mindful of their materialistic desires and focus on relationships and experiences for a balanced life. Greed.
नीड और ग्रीड में बहुत कम फर्क है। कई बार आपको नीड लेके जाता है, कई बार ग्रीड लेके जाता है। मैं जिंदगी में हमेशा मैं सीखने की कोशिश करता हूँ और मेरे को किसी सीनियर क्रिकेटर ने कहा था कि कपिल, इफ यू वांट टू बी सक्सेसफुल इन लाइफ, कीप योर आईज एंड ईयर्स ओपन व्हाइल स्लीपिंग आल्सो। सक्सेस तो आ जाएगी, सीखना कहाँ से? वो आपके दोस्त, आपकी लाइफ, आपकी सिचुएशन आपको दिन ब दिन बेहतर सिखा सकती है अगर आपकी सोच ऐसी। नीड और ग्रीड में बहुत कम फर्क है। कई बार आपको नीड लेके जाता है, कई बार ग्रीड लेके जाता है। मैं जिंदगी में हमेशा मैं सीखने की कोशिश करता हूँ और मेरे को किसी सीनियर क्रिकेटर ने कहा था कि कपिल, इफ यू वांट टू बी सक्सेसफुल इन लाइफ, कीप योर आईज एंड ईयर्स ओपन व्हाइल स्लीपिंग आल्सो। सक्सेस तो आ जाएगी, सीखना कहाँ से? वो आपके दोस्त, आपकी लाइफ, आपकी सिचुएशन आपको दिन ब दिन बेहतर सिखा सकती है अगर आपकी सोच ऐसी। नीड और ग्रीड में बहुत कम फर्क है।
So now you understood between the need and the greed. Introspect and see. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਸ ਰਹੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਨੀਡਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਸਾਡੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ greed ਹੈਗੇ। Now what does greed lead to? What does it lead to? That's what is important. So we come on to the next slide, which says, when we are greedy, when our desires are absolutely excessive and it goes to greed, what does it do? It will automatically, it will lead to stress and exhaustion. Why? Because ਜਦੋਂ greed ਹੋਰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੋਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, there will be so much of stress. Because to keep on running for things and all is going to exhaust you also and cause a lot of stress. Then what will it cause? It will cause a lot of anxiety, depression, despair. We might not have ever noticed it, but please notice when you have an anxiety, when you have a depression, when you're despair, you're having stress, exhaustion, please analyze, introspect and see that why it is causing all this thing. Why this stress? Why anxiety? Why despair? Why depression? Find out, is it the greed? What is that energy? Then what does it do? It leads to maladaptive behaviors. Our behaviors change because greed itni zyada hai. We want so much. Then slowly when our want becomes so much, we become so greedy. Then what we go in for gambling. We go in for gambling. First thing, when we go in for gambling, then what does it do? We start hoarding. We become trickery. We become thieves, thefts. We do all sort of nonsense because we want more and more. Even in a simple business, when people are working, because of their greed, you see how much of theft they are doing, how much of cheating they are doing. And now what happens? They're hoarding. Now, for example, I'm greedy. Maybe not in this way. Maybe I'm very greedy on my clothes. I want to wear clothes. What I do? I'll get one buy, I'll two, I'll buy three, I'll buy four, I'll buy 10, I'll keep it. मैं उसको वहां से हटाऊंगी नहीं, मैं किसी को दूंगी भी नहीं. I will not give anyone. But I'll keep on and on doing. So what happens? I come to overspending. What happens? I come to overspending. My behavior becomes like I'm overspending the things. And when I go and overspend, and then the stock hoarding is also going on in the cupboard. Overspending is going on because मेरे अंदर वो greed है, लोभ है. And slowly this लोभ जो है is my attachment to my desires. मेरी attachment उन कपड़े अंदर हो जाएगी. नहीं ये भी नहीं देना. नहीं फिट है कोई गल नहीं. साल बाद पा लवांगे, पतले हो जावांगे. अच्छा थोड़ा स्टाइल नहीं, फिर स्टाइल आएगा, फिर ऐसे कर लवांगे. So somewhere this greed leads us to what? Getting attached to these desires. So this is where we overspend also. And then what we do? In business, a lot of fraud because we want more. So we are doing fraud. So we have to understand that this is what a greed leads us to. Understand these things that they're leading us to greed. Okay. Now, when it leads us, what other things of greed are in? Is it only money or food? No. There are many things. You can see in the next slide what kind of greeds are there. Now, the greed says, the first is what you can see, money. Kisko paisa nahi acha lagta? We want money. We want money. Money is something. Money is definitely something. But for greedy people, money becomes everything. You know, pehle kya kehte san, log kehte san ki bhai health is there, something is there. Money is gone, nothing is gone. But if character is gone, everything is gone. Aajkal kya hai? Character is gone, doesn't matter. Health is gone, doesn't matter. Money is gone, everything is gone. That is why today we people are so unhappy. That is why we people are so sick. So the money is also a greed. Then it comes also to fame. Aajkal sada rutba. We want to be famous. We've got money. We have a fame. We want people should know. Sadi brother nu pata hona chahiye mere ko paisa and I have to have the fame. So also you see in the politicians, you see in the gurdwaras, you see in the mandirs, you go any socialized place, they all want fame. They want fame. There's a greed for fame. Then what does it come in the next? Is the possessions. They have the possessions of everything. Car hai, gaddi hai, business hai. All this is what? They have a greed that I must. Why? Because they have to become famous. Now they need money, so they are greedy for money. Why they want money? Because they have to have themselves. Their possessions have to be there. Money, gaddiyan, paisa, sab kuch hona chahiye. Agar wo hoega to mera fame bhi ho jayega. Fame hoega, then attention. They need greed of attention. They have. Nowadays, you see in simple word, the small children, when they are being neglected, when parents do not put attention on them because they are working or they may be busy, and when these children don't get attention, they are greedy. They are greed for attention. That is why they go haywire. Then some people are very greedy for compliments. They want compliments. कि छोटी छोटी गल्लां तो पर कोई ना कोई मनु वाह वाह कहते रहे, compliment करते रहे. Simple thing. It's nature. When a person goes over to a marriage or to a party and buys a suit, आज मैंने 50,000 का, 60,000 का, 1,00,000 का सूट मैंने लिया है, and I'm going for the marriage. अगर उधर में मेरे को किसी ने नहीं कहा कि हाँ एक बहुत बढ़िया सूट है, then you make a big long face. My 1 lakh is gone down the drain because I did not get a compliment. We have the greed of getting compliments, not only on the materialistic, but also on other things. People get a habit of becoming greedy for compliments. Then they have greed for gifts, maybe any type, but they have a greed for gift. आजकल तुसी देख लो, आज दिवाली आ जाएगी ना, तो सारे will give gifts, okay? Then you see how they all sit on the table and they watch. अच्छा ये गिफ्ट आया, वो गिफ्ट आया, ये गिफ्ट, अच्छा ये तो बहुत सस्ता है, ये तो बड़ा महंगा है, अब इसको. These are the greed. Slowly we are building it up. We are building up this. Then people have a greed for tags. When we tag them, no, then they have a greed for tag also. So this is something very common, all people and all have to just introspect and find out, ki waqai, are we having all these tags? Are we actually greedy for it? Yes. अगर किसी ने कॉम्प्लीमेंट नहीं देता एंड असि रुस जांदे हाय मत पूछो से कुछ किया ही कोई नहीं, तो देन मींस यू आर ग्रीडी फॉर इट. अगर तुसी किसी जगह ते जाके और किसी दी शाबाशी किसी नु वाह वाह हो रही ਤੁਹਾਡੀ नहीं हो रही है and you get little bit irritated and stressed up and angry, means you're greedy for it. So these are all, there are many more. I've just taken a few of them. This is how we say that greed, not only money, we are greed for all these things also. ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਲੋਭ ਹੈ. Now we'll see into the next screen that it says, how do greedy people think? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੁਣ ਸੋਚ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ? ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਭੀ ਲੋਕ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, what is their way of thinking? They said all should not benefit. Greedy people said खाली मेरा ही नफा होना चाहिए, किसी का नहीं होना चाहिए. A greedy person, they say कि ਉਹ किसी ਨੂੰ ਉੱਠਦਿਆਂ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ, doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. कोई बिजनेस भी अग्गा हो जाए ना, ते अगला बंदा कहते नहीं, कोई भी नहीं लाइक करेगा कि बच्चा. That shows that this is the thought of a greedy person. Then what is the next? They deserve more. They always say we deserve more. They are always in this rat race that we deserve more. Now if they say that we deserve more, for example, अगर कोई कम भी करोगे तो सी, हमेशा हर जगह ते साडी लड़ाई यही होएगी कि ये जरा होए ना, I deserve more, because साडी के अंदर एक लालच है, साडे अंदर एक लोभ है. Then what is it? When we are greedy, then we are at the cost of others' expense. For example, I have to go in a car. Okay, I'm taking an Uber or I'm taking anything. And every time when I'm going, someone says, okay, you're going in the Uber. Okay, I can also come. That shows that person is greedy. It is a sign of greed on the cost of someone else. Banda ek bari karda, fine, a second, but the third, fourth, fifth, and makes it a habit, then that shows that it is a greedy person because it's on the expense of others. Then what is the next point that says they start manipulating? There's experts in manipulation because there is greed. ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਲੋਭ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਪੈਸਿਆਂ ਦਾ, ਖਾਣ ਦਾ, ਪੀਣ ਦਾ, then we become very manipulative. ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਕੱਢ ਹੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਪੈਸਾ ਕਿੰਜ ਕਮਾਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੇ, ਅਸੀਂ fraud ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਾਂਗੇ. Manipulation is very good for greedy people. Let it be money, let it be your property, let it be your food. When you go out, you see it. Even when you people are just bargaining with the vegetable people, you're just bargaining. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸ਼ੁੱਧਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣੇਗਾ, 2, 4, 5 ਰੁਪਏ ਦਾ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਬਣਦਾ. But we are so greedy, we manipulate. नहीं, मैंने तो भी पीछे गया था ना, उसने तो मेरे को बोला थी 5 रुपए में दूंगा, उसने भी बेशक 10 रुपए बोले हुए, but ਅਸੀਂ 5 रुपए कह देंगे. We manipulate in the cost of other people, and this is how a greedy person thinks. Then it says dissatisfaction at never having enough. A greedy person always feels I don't have enough. मेरे को ज़्यादा नहीं है. This is what a person thinks who is greedy. उसको बहुत कुछ होएगा, पर वो फिर भी कहेगा नहीं जी मेरे को कुछ भी नहीं आएगा. You see many people doing. When people ask, no, how is your work going on, business going on? कुछ भी नहीं है जी, आजकल तो बड़ा मंदा है जी. क्यों? कोई नजर ना करते हुए. We don't want anyone else to this thing. So what do? We are just always dissatisfied, but we do not know when we verbally say these things and all, the law of attraction is working. जिस दिन ਅਸੀਂ ਕਵਾਂਗੇ ਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਥਿੰਗ ਜੇ ਅੱਜਕੱਲ ਤੇ ਮੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਮੰਦਾ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਪਿਆ, ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਆਏਗਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਮੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਹੋਏਗਾ, because this is a law of attraction that's working. ਔਰ greedy person doesn't think, ਉਹ ਇੰਜ ਹੀ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਰਹੇਗਾ, ਨਹੀਂ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਫੂਫਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ, be simple, people should get jealous about it. So these are the thinking of all these greedy people. Now what does it say in the next slide? Bring into the next slide. It says unrestricted greed leads to what? Unrestricted. Jeri greed nu asi usnu restrain nahi kita. So what does it bring into? Incentive. We people leads to what? You become cruel, you become disregard, callousness, insensitive. Asi kisi da dukh samajhde nahi hai, asi kisi de emotions nu nahi samajhenge, because this greed leads to it. This greed leads to it. Then what does it? Hankar, home, main, arrogance. It goes into arrogance. Then it goes into what you see on the third. It says that it is called, this is actually a mental disease, which is called the megalomania. This is a disease which, it is a belief, it's a delusion, it is a belief that mere ko kuch hai hi nahi hai, and no one can tell me, and I'm right. This is also a delusion belief when a greedy person has it. Then they ignore the harm caused to others. Because of their greed, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕੀ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. Simple thing. Vendors come, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ bargain ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ, manipulate ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਔਰ manipulate ਕਰਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ we don't realize ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, how we are doing it. Then we are not sympathetic. We are very hard-hearted. We are very, very hard-hearted. So what happens? This is when we do not work on our greed. When our greed is crossing all the limits, excessive. So now this greed will go on to the next, which says, in the next slide, it says, how does greed affect the brain? It is a nature ban gaya is type da. साड़ी सोच ऐसी बन गई. But how does it, greed, affect the brain? All the vices, remember one thing, all the vices जितने भी हैं, जितने भी vices हैं, जितने भी विकार हैं, काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, अहंकार, वो पूरी बलात तेरी है कि वो और उन्हें दे रहे thoughts है again. All of them always hit the brain. Brain is the main center where all the hormones and the chemicals are being excreted. Now, when greed is there, and this greed affects the brain, why? It triggers the dopamine. When dopamine, because this is a thought, it's a greed, it's a sensation that goes and hits again the dopamine. When it hits again the dopamine, that dopamine only gives a feed of a good factor. Samko to acha lag raha hai. It gives us a pleasure. It's actually that dopamine is giving. Why? Because this greed, this negative force goes and hits against the brain. It activates the gland. Dopamine is secreted, makes us feel very good, and it activates what? Pleasure. And then what happens? We get addicted to the greed. Dopamine is giving us all this because greed has actually hit against the brain and dopamine has been excreted. But what happens when the dopamine, it goes in excess? It goes in excess. Then what happens? If this in excess, slowly, we are not realizing it is a dopamine that has come giving us all the pleasure. But we get attached to that greed of money. We get attached to the greed of money, greed of food, greed of power, greed of tag. As you attach and slowly become addicted to it. And when we become addicted to it, then you can imagine we are going to have a lot of negative symptoms in our body. We are going to be diseased. Not only our body, but then even the outside relationships are going to be destroyed. Now, what does the next one say? Greed is everyday life and traits of a greedy person. Greed in everyday life and traits of a greedy person. What are the traits in greedy in life? Now you will see
जितना भी करप्शन है,
हाँ,
जो हम सबकी नस नस में दौड़ रहा है, उसके पीछे जो जड़ है वो ग्रीड है। और ग्रीड की जो जड़ है वो 3 है। एक है कि हम नीड और वांट के बीच के फर्क को कभी समझते ही नहीं है। वांट्स के पीछे पागल है, डिजायर्स के पीछे पागल है। डिजायर्स को भगवान मानते हैं, नीड्स को तो कुछ समझते ही नहीं है। नीड तब समझ आती है जब वो चीज नहीं होती है, यानी जब सांस नहीं आ रही है, तब उस ऑक्सीजन के लिए आप अपना सब कुछ देने के लिए तैयार हो। तब उस डॉक्टर के आप जाकर के पैर पकड़ लोगे कि मुझे सांस चाहिए। उससे पहले आपको सांस नहीं चाहिए, उससे पहले आपको पैसा चाहिए। तो फर्क कैसे करोगे नीड और ग्रीड के बीच में? बहुत सिंपल है। अगर ये दिन आपकी जिंदगी का आखिरी दिन हो, तो ऐसा क्या है जो अगर आपके हाथ से निकल गया तो उसके लिए आप अपना सारा पैसा लुटाने के लिए तैयार हो? नॉट थियोरेटिकली बट एक्चुअली वो सब आपकी नीड्स है, वो सब एक्चुअल में इंपॉर्टेंट है। जितना भी करप्शन है जो हम सबकी नस नस में दौड़ रहा है, उसके पीछे जो जड़ है वो ग्रीड है। और ग्रीड की जो जड़ है वो 3 है। एक है कि हम नीड और वांट के बीच के फर्क को कभी समझते ही नहीं है। वांट्स के पीछे पागल है, डिजायर्स के पीछे पागल है। डिजायर्स को भगवान मानते हैं, नीड्स को तो कुछ समझते ही नहीं है। नीड तब समझ आती है जब वो चीज नहीं होती है, यानी जब सांस नहीं आ रही है, तब उस ऑक्सीजन के लिए आप अपना सब कुछ देने के लिए तैयार हो। तब उस डॉक्टर के आप जाकर के पैर पकड़ लोगे कि मुझे सांस चाहिए। उससे पहले आपको सांस नहीं चाहिए, उससे पहले आपको पैसा चाहिए। तो फर्क कैसे करोगे नीड और ग्रीड के बीच में? बहुत सिंपल है। अगर ये दिन आपकी जिंदगी का आखिरी दिन हो, तो ऐसा क्या है जो अगर आपके हाथ से निकल गया तो उसके लिए आप अपना सारा पैसा लुटाने के लिए तैयार हो? नॉट थियोरेटिकली बट एक्चुअली वो सब आपकी नीड्स है, वो सब एक्चुअल में इंपॉर्टेंट है। जितना भी करप्शन है जो हम सबकी नस नस में दौड़
Okay, so you've seen the need and the want. It is a saying that God gives you what you need. He does not give you what you want. इसको लिख के ना दोबारा ते लगा लो। God gives you what you need. He does not give you want. But पूरी जिंदगी we want, and this desire is a rat race. This desire has become a rat race for everyone. We are running under things, we are running for materialist things, for power, and thinking that will make our life more comfortable. But sorry, is going to put you into a soup. So what happens? It is very clearly said that you get everything. God gives everything to you. You get everything what you need. But we are not satisfied. We have our desires. We have our wants. And when we run up the wants, then automatically what happens? We are going to be in a soup. So now let us see what are the traits of a greedy person. Okay. First is eating all the cookies. Eating all the cookies. So I'd like to see a video over there. So what did you see? See, one rat went inside, was eating the cookie. The other also went. He had how much he wanted to have. How much was his need? He took and he came away outside. The other one said, no, I should have everything. How much I can, I empty it out. By the time he emptied it out, he put the cock upstairs. So what happened? He lost his life because being greedy. So we people also, when we are greedy, definitely we are going to be in a soup. We are going to be in a soup. And what does the next say? The next point says, taking credit for work done by others. This is also a greed. किसी और ने काम किया तो बहुत बढ़िया काम किया है, But because we don't want that person to get the credit, we take the credit by hook or by crook. By doing fraud, manipulation, we always want that we should take the credit done by others. This is a trait of greediness. Then it says what? Paying low salaries to employees. When give salary to the employees, which is justified. But then what do we do? ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ हम 500 कम देंगे, हम अब तुमको भी 1000 कम देंगे, तो आपको उधर में इतना मिलता है, आपको यहाँ इतना ही मिलेगा. We give them, and we do it because they are helpless. They have to do it. So whatever it shows how greedy we people are, how selfish we people are. We cannot understand anyone. Then it comes into school, in students and all. They're also greedy. They don't like to share their pens. They don't like to share the things. And greedy children, what? Not only the pens, not the materialistic things. They don't even like to share the notes. Why? Because they're greedy. They want the fame. They want to be the first. They don't want anyone should go before, ahead of them. So they're also greedy. That is also called greedy. Not only sharing the materials thing, sharing your notebooks, not sharing your notes also, sharing your knowledge also. People are not ready. They don't share. Because they are attached to that greed. Because that greed bring them shabashi, very good, you are very knowledgeable. So we don't even give that knowledge also to anyone because we are greedy to it. So then it says that what other thing? They lack empathy. These people who are greedy, they are lacking empathy. They will only have sympathy. Sympathy and empathy, there's a big difference. Sympathy is negative and empathy is positive. Sympathy is an artificial thing. For example, someone has passed away, you go to the house, and thus we have to go there because sabko pata hona chahiye ki main aaya haan, aur jab main aaya haan, to what do we say? Okay ji, bahut afsos hai ji, afsos hai, chalo ji kar chalo. Assi apna naam likhaya. This is sympathy. It is a superficial. But empathy is what? They lack empathy. Empathy is a very pious, it's a very beautiful energy where you learn to help the people come out of problems, lead them to a very beautiful path. Along with it, you keep yourself self-guard also. That is empathy. It is not superficial. You understand what the people are going through. Take them out of the thing. That is empathy. Bani kehte na parupkar bano. Parupkari bano. This is empathy. Sympathy. It is called the spiritual empathy. But these people lack it. They have, either they will be having sympathy or they will be having apathy. A-P-A-T-H-Y. That means not bothered. Tum jao bhaad mein. It makes no difference to us. Then these people also, what do they have? They have displayed selfishness. They are very, very selfish. Very, very selfish. Why? Because they are not ready to share. They're not ready to share. Because they're not ready to share, they play disloyalty. They deceive, their deception. Because they only want for themselves more and more and more. They've never learned to share. So when it comes into sharing, they become very disloyal and deception. Sab chalakiyan aa jandiyan unhon mein. And the next point says what? They become manipulative also. Because they don't want to, they're so greedy, they don't want. So what happened? They are hoarding resources. These greedy people, I told you, cupboard beside his suit, and please go and check, all of you, go and check your cupboards. Check your shoes. Check all your drawers and see how much we are hoarding and hoarding. We're not ready to impart. Why? Because our greed has become, we are attached to the greed. We become attached to that. We are not ready to. So we are manipulative. And we take advantage of others. We take all the advantage of others because we are not ready to share. Asi bewakkoof bana ke asi apne aap andar hoarding kar lavange, but we will not share. And then what does it say? It seeks power and control. It seeks power and control. These people, you can see, they always want to have a power over the people. In a family also, you see. Greed doesn't mean only money. Greed over power. They want power. कि मैं सारे ऊपर dominate कर सका, जिन मैं चाहूँ चला सका, मेरी power होनी चाहिए, मेरा fame होना चाहिए, लोग मेरे को डरना चाहिए. This is also people have a greed for it. Now, these are all the traits. Now, I will like you, before I take the last slide on the army, I will like you all, if you people have your pen and pencil with you, I will like you people to just write it down. It is very, very small, but it is very good. It will be very good for you because I've not made the slide, because I don't want you to become a parasite, very frankly. तनु slides मिल जानेंगे तो कर लोगे, but I want you to work. Now, what is it? It is very simple. Is greed a sin? Is greed a sin? Greed is a deadly sin. Greed is a deadly sin because it kills the possibility. It kills the possibility of a human relation to the Creator. That is why Scripture says that greed is the sin. It is evil. Next, is greed a feeling? Is greed a feeling? It is an irrational emotion that rides over the rational decision. मैं कोई सलाह लेनी है की है, and it is right, it is correct. But if I have a greed, I will do irrational. मैं गलत सलाह करांगी because of my greed. So greed is a feeling. Is greed a form of fear? Is greed a form of fear? No. Greed is a response to threats. Why does fear come? Fear comes because when we are threatened, तो सानू डर लग जाता है. Greed is a response to opportunities. In life, there is so many opportunities to earn money, for educations, in your business, to raise your, so many opportunities come. So greed is actually what is a response to the opportunities, and fear is a response to threats. जब कोई हमला कुछ भी होता है सानू ना तो सानू एक डर आ जाता है. But greed is not to threats, it is a response to the opportunities that come in life. Is greed a hunger? कि साडे अंदर भुख है, is a hunger? In psychologists, they say that greed is actually expects endless gratifications. It needs only gratification. Santushti, but every mil jaye, main santusht ho. Every mil jaye, main santusht ho jaya. But that is what greed is, according to psychology. Then what is greed? What does the psychologists aage kehte hain? They say that the desire to acquire more and the dissatisfaction never having more. We want more, but what happens? But we are even then dissatisfied. We are not satisfied at all. We are always dissatisfied. हो रहा है, तनु होर चाहिए है, and हमेशा से कहेंगे साड़ी वाली भुख पूरी नहीं हुई, हाली सानू होर भी भुख हैगी है. This is what greed does. So then it says, if the psychologists say also this, then it says that is greed in our DNA? कि साड़ी DNA दे विच हैगी है? Yes, it is in the DNA. The ruthless, the RUTH, ruthless gene or daring gene. What is it? The gene of greed. The ruthless gene or daring gene is a gene of greed. This is the human greed, and it is made of protein. It is the protein. So greed is in our DNA. Greed is in our DNA. Now, is greed a curse? Is it a curse? Now, how is it a curse? When we are greedy. So what happens? This greed, I've got greed of money. I've greed of food. I'm greedy. I'm greedy for it. तो पैसा आ जाता है, वो पैसा ही साढ़े वैसे कर्स बढ़ जाता है. And manu greedy सी मन पैसा आके कल साढ़े बच्चे गलत रास्ते टूट पैंदे. And पैसा आया. You can see what's happening in the world. We have money, and today I go and pump and show. I go into the pubs, I drink and smoke and do everything because I have the money. Ohi paisa becomes a curse for us. So also when there is food, so what does the food do? Sanu khana. I want this hotel, 5-star, everything. Oh, greed of food. Kal food he becomes a curse for us. How does it become a curse for us? It actually destroys our food, our body. It destroys our food. Our mental state, our physical state, our emotions all get destroyed. So this only becomes a curse for us. So this greed is actually a curse for us. Now, can greed be a disorder? Can greed be a disorder? They say narcissists are what? What are narcissists? Narcissists and greedy people, they're on the same level. Why? Because they are in line with the conviction that they are lacking importance. Narcissist always says, I want the full importance. Manu pura importance chahiye. I need my full fame. कोई उस narcissist के सामने बोल नहीं सकता, क्योंकि वो कहता है जो मैं करे वो एकदम ठीक करे, 100% right. All are wrong, I am right. So the ego is playing. So also a greedy person does not realize. He thinks that I am always right and I am earning and I've got so much with it. And he wants that he should have the importance. He should have that power. So they both are on this same platform. So greed is actually what? A disorder. Now, to greed, the root of evil, is greed the root of evil? Shastras say yes. Greed is a cause of many ills at the expense of others. Greed is a cause of many ills. आज मैं greedy हैगी, मनु बड़ा कुछ चाहिए, पैसा हैगा, is cause of many ills. मैं पैसा कमाया, मैं खाना होड़ कीता, मैं अपने कपड़े होड़ कीते, सारा कुछ मैं अंदर कीता. What? I become ill. I become sick. Why? Well, I told you know how evil the what you say greed is. So what happens in the expense of others? मैं इसको ये भी ले ला, because we have never learned to give, we have always learned to take. Then what type of emotion is greed? Greed is the natural manifestation of insecurity. Greed is the manifestation of insecurity. उसमें हमेशा insecure होता है, हमेशा insecure होता है. वो insecurity उसको greedy बनाती है. So the root cause of greed is what? Insecurity. Now, roots of greed. What is the other root? Unmet emotional needs. Not this. Please don't take this now. Don't take this now. Yes. The roots of greed is what? Unmet emotional needs. There are many emotional undercurrent there are, which have not been met. That leads to greed. Now, if we understood this, then they say that, okay, what is the next of the greed? In बच्चियां दे विच ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ बड़ी बार कि stories दसियां ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ कि what? The greedy dog. ਉਹਦੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਸ ਪਿਆ ਸੀ, he had a mutton piece, he goes to the river, he sees his reflection, he says, oh, I've got one piece, he's also got one piece. He's so greedy. He said, no, I also want it. But what he does, he opens his mouth. He does not know that it is his reflection. He opens his mouth to grab the other one. Usko apna hai, but he wants to grab the other one also. What happens? He loses his own. This is what we are doing in life. But then another story comes. This is what we get for the children of how to tell them, please be away from this greediness. The monkey, there's a jar. The monkey puts his hand and he has to take out a little bit. But he says, no, let me take the whole, and he puts the whole. It becomes so huge, he cannot take it out. He cannot take it out. And he is trapped. When the person sees that someone is putting their hand, they catch the monkey. So what happened? These are little stories that we tell to the kids, that to be greedy, you can be in a soup. Now, let us see the quotes, what have been given in the quotes. They say there are beautiful quotes by Gandhi. What does Gandhiji say? The world has enough. The world, sansar, they call, bahut haiga for everyone. Sariyan de paase bahut haiga. The world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for the greedy ones. Sansar ko bahut kuch haiga. Sab de vaase pura ho sakta hai. But it is not enough for the person who is greedy. Una vaase hamesha hi thoda hai. Because they have a hoarding, hoard. So they're never satisfied. Then a proverb says, what does a proverb say? Greed keeps men forever poor. Greedy people, jitna marzi paisa kama learn. But agar wo greedy hai, then forever he'll be poor. Greed keeps men forever poor. Even the abundance of this world will not make them rich. Jitna marzi abundance, because the world are always having abundance coming into everyone out. Jitna marzi aa jaye, fir bhi wo garib de garib hi reh jaenge. वो अमीर कभी नहीं होंगे. So it is very, very important that we have to understand how greed is very destructive. Now we can compare two things. What is the two things that we compare? Fear or greed? Which is stronger? Which do you think is stronger? Fear or greed? Which is stronger? Fear or greed? इंसान जो होता है, oh, he loves to enjoy. He loves to have pleasure. He wants greed of money and enjoyment and food and everything. But जब तो कोई हमला करता है ना, so that fear is so thin because he has to save himself. For him, मेरी जिंदगी है तो मैं खा लूँगा, मैं ऐश कर लूँगा. पहले तो अपनी जिंदगी को बचावा. So that means when you compare fear and greed, fear is overpowering. Fear is overpowering. Now, that means if fear is overpowering, then what is then worse than greed? The greed to worst फिर किएगा. उसको भी बदतर कुछ होना चाहिए. They say it is guilt. What does it say? It is guilt. Now why? Because fear and greed are largely caused by the external factors. A बाहर factor no साड़ा greed और fear कम. कोई हमला करेगा, मैं डर जाऊंगा. कोई मनु चीज opportunity मिलेगी, मेरी greed rise करेगी. When there is a fall of rise of stock, कितना greed है. आज अभी थोड़ा सा ले लो, अभी ले लो, हो सकते शेयर बढ़ जाएंगे. अगर so you can see all share नीचे हो गए, डर जाता है, खत्म हो गए, क्यों हो गए? Because they are having largely caused by the external factor. But guilt is not by the external factor. Guilt साढ़े अंदरों होता है. अगर साढ़े अंदर एक डर और fear आ गया है of losing money, everything, फिर साढ़े अंदर एक guilt खुद ही आंदा है. ये मुताज नहीं है बाद दी चीज़ां तो. So that means worse than desire, worse than this greed is what? It is साढ़े अंदर दी guilt. Now, they say that what type of emotion is greed? What type? It is a thing. No, I'll say it is my last question. It says that can we satisfy greed? कि असी उसनु satisfy कर सकते हैं. मेरे अंदर भुख है कि मैं उस भुख नु satisfy कर सकती हूँ. अगर मेरे अंदर greed है, we cannot satisfy the greed. मैं आज मानो greedy है that I want one certain thing. I want a car. I've got a small car. But जो गड्डी आ गई, another will rise. No, now I want a bigger car. मनु बड़ी गड्डी आ गई, उसको दूसरा I want a bigger car. In everything I want more and more and more, and we are never satisfied. So that is why it says that we can, for example, they give a fire. आग जरी है ना, this is like how we are burning ourselves. एक आग बाल दे हाँ, उस आग दे अंदर ऐसी लकड़ पाई जलाया. The fire puts it into ashes. असी होर लकड़ पावांगे, it turns into ashes. Fire will never say कि don't put, I am tired. वो कहते होर पाओ, इसमें भी ashes कर दे सा. तुसी होर पाओ ashes. साडा desire भी यही है. वो कहते होर पांदे जाओ, जितना तुसी पांदे जाओ, I will never be satisfied. Why do people then act greedy? Why do the people act greedy? अगर हमें इतना कुछ पता है why? Because people always think that जितना भी materialistic things हैं, आज पैसा है, रुतबा है, गड्डी है, मकान है, they never realize that these things that they are desiring they are not trying to understand that this is not permanent. They're not going to be permanent with you. Because जो आएगा सो बिन सेगा, पैसा आएगा तो पैसा जाएगा भी. It's not going to be every day the same day. But उन्हें दे अंदर ये होता है कि जो चीज आएगी ये मेरे नाल हमेशा ही रहेगा. But sorry to say, it is inevitable. जो आएगा वो जाएगा भी. कच्ची ऊपर दिन आएंगे, कभी थोड़े दिन आएंगे, आन जान ते लगा ही रहेगा. So what happened when the things go? They are so scared that they want to hold on to it. And the greed increases. होर कर लो, कोई टाइम दा पता है, ये भी होना चाहिए, कल ऐ हो गया, कल नुकसान हो गया. But this is why people become greedy. That is why they're acting greedy, because they do not know that everything on the earth is not going to be permanent. is not going to be always there with you. Money comes and goes. But we people are holding on to it. We hold and we're always scared that chala jayega. So let's hold more. Let's hold more. This is the sign of the greedy people. So these are small questions which you always must remember, that in life, we must be able to label all these vices of us. Is it greed? Or is this a want? Or is this a need? ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਦੇਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਈ ਹੈ, any type, if the greed, if this is a desire which is already giving you a problem, is giving a problem to the people around you or in your relationship, understand this desire is turning into greed. These desires are leading to lust. And when they go to lust and greed, then anger comes. So now in the next slide, the last slide, I will show you how they carry the whole army with them. There's a whole army that carry. Hanji Rimple, you can bring onto the screen the last where the army is going to be there. Yes. So you see on what is the tip of the ice? This is the tip of the iceberg. What is it? The greed. This is the tip of the ice. Sanu khali bar greedy nazar aa raha hai. Okay, the person greedy. But the thalle te dekho, usno greedy kyun banaya? How did he become greedy? Because of insecurity. Khatam na ho jaye, chala na jave, usno kar karke wo greedy ban gaya. So that insecurity of his has led him to greed. So insecurity is beneath and the undercurrent. Greed sanu nazar aa raha hai, but ude thalle army baithi hui hai. So after insecurity, what happens? It rises to greed. Now the next army, what he said, is comparison. Assi logan nu dekh ke, what happens? We want to become like them, and then we started hoarding things. We become, in this comparison, insecurity, we start becoming slowly greedy. Banda greedy hai, understand. Why is he becoming greedy? I'm sure he is insecure. उसको होएगा कि मेरी चीज के चली ना जावे, कल डाउनफॉल ना आ जाए, पता नहीं कल कोविड ना आ जाए, ये चीज़ चलो greedy होल्ड करो. Then हो सकता है कि उस बंदे के अंदर ना एक कंपैरिजन, क्योंकि वो इर्द गिर्द नू देखता है, वो इर्द गिर्द नू देख के उसके अंदर आ गया कि भाई एक कंपैरिजन, मेरा स्टेटस कितने गया, I have to be the thing, that power should have been. So he becomes more greedy to get the things. So then comes the next. What does the next also say? After the comparison, it comes to anger. Already gussa both hai. I have an anger. This is an undercurrent. Because when we do not get things, then we become angry. And then there is a fear. There is a fear that maybe bad times will come. Then we'll not be able to have the money. We'll not be able to have the facilities. Then there are illusions. They're all illusions, because we think that all days are going to be the same. No, all days are not going to be the same. Ups and downs are going to come. Ups and downs are going to come. But we have broken off. We are on the body conscious. We are not on the soul conscious. If we would have been on the soul conscious, then what would have happened? We would have always be satisfied. But oh, I always want to be the best. Because I want to be the best, so I will do all this cheating bazi, I'll do all the fruit. I'll slowly become greedy because I want the greed of power, I greed of food, I want greed of money, the greed of hoarding. All these greed come because of the undercurrent. Under the water, we can only see one. Like we have seen in the anger also, anger is on the tip. On the tip is what? Lust. On the tip is what? Today it is greed. But the thalle ki hai, very good for counselors. When they are counseling the people, they go down deep into the current to find from where did this lust come? From where did this anger come? From where did this greed come? So it is a very good point where the counselors go deep into this. So today I have done with you more of the negative part of greed. More of the negative part. Tomorrow I'll do on the spirituality and more on the healthy part of greed. Because I told you before, all the vices have constructive and destructive. It is constructive and destructive, but we have to recognize them. And then only we can make destructive into constructive. We have to recognize what is becoming destructive and what is becoming constructive. So is karke, today I've completed the greed. Tomorrow I will be taking more on the spirituality and on the healthy. Not tomorrow, it will be on Monday. On Monday I will be doing. On Monday I will be doing the spirituality. So you have a 2 days break. So, और कहोगे जी कि भाई on Puaji is doing so much and not छुट्टी हो गई सारे 2 दिन वास्ते and all. Yes, have a nice sleep. Go over your revision. Go over your notes. Understand them. Soak them. Assimilate them. Practice them. And we'll come back on Monday. So now, Arvinder, you can carry on. If anyone has any question, they can definitely come up with it.
Universe is always in abundance. It is only we who have created limitations for ourselves. So this entire session needs to be pondered over. Yes, it was indeed a long session, but it was definitely worth it. Over the weekend, we should just consider every aspect of what we have spoken today about greed. We have a couple of hand raises, so quickly and crisply we can handle them. Yes, you can unmute yourself and put in your sharings or queries.
Puaji,
Anji,
Jai Khalsa Ji Fateh.
Fateh ji, Fateh.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿ greed is a sin, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? ਇੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ DNA ਤੇ ਹੈ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? ਰਜਵੰਤ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਰਵਿੰਦਰ ਦੀਦੀ, you can mute him. So, Puaji, ਮੇਰਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਸੀ, ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਗਰੀਡ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਅੱਛੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਮਾਜ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹ ਗਰੀਡ ਇਜ਼। रजवंत जी तो बहुत आवाज आ रही है। रजवंत जी, 1 सेकंड म्यूट कर दो प्लीज। ओके
Anji.
जी, वो वाला ग्रीड पॉजिटिव भी तो हो सकता है ना, कंस्ट्रक्टिव?
Yes. When we're talking about the DNA, it is a greed. All these things are there. I told you it is constructive and destructive. At times in our DNA, these become destructive, but now we know how to make it constructive. I told you already in the quantum physics that we have the power and we can become warriors and not be victim. हाँ, साढ़े अंदर तो उन्हों है, मेरे दादा भी इंजी सी ना, मैं भी greedy है, so we live as a victim, but we have the power to change our genes. Our DNAs can be changed. Quantum physics has declared it. How? When we are getting all these knowledge and we are sharing, then we start pondering, then our thoughts become different. Then where it is happening is actually changing all our DNAs.
Okay. So नहीं, जो तुसी आज जैसे I got it कि ये negative impact है जो होंदा है साढ़े अंदर, no doubt है ना, triggers आंदे हैं because we are also learners, ठीक है? But तुसी मैंने क्या constructive होंदा, बाकी तुसी genes वाला भी है समझा सी कि DNA ते होंदा, but we are the warriors, we can change ourselves.
We can, yes, 100%. Yes, we can change it. We can change it.
Subconsciously होंदा, but जो तुसी आज इतनी knowledge ले रहे हैं, consciously जो तुसी अपना आप change करेंगे, we convert it.
This is just a greed, it's just an emotion. But if we have in our DNA, in our genes, even if we have a type of a diabetes, doctors tell us what? It is in your gene, it's in your DNA. Please, अपने आप को संभालो. So what do they say? ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਵਿਕਟਮ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੁਝ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਹੇਜ਼ ਕਰੋ, ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਹੇਜ਼ ਕਰੋ, slowly the DNA becomes stronger and stronger. ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ, because we are manifesting it. But now we know the quantum physics says the power of the thoughts.
Power of thoughts. ठीक है, thank you Puaji, got it. Yes.
Hanji Kavalji, you can unmute yourself.
Puaji, I wanted to ask something. जिकर असी रोज ही जिक्र आंदा है कि we have to transform from body conscious to soul conscious. So is it wrong to be body conscious? Because no. I feel, I think I may be wrong, and I want clarification about this. If we are body conscious, then only I think we can step up to soul conscious. Isn't it true? Like greed part also, if what is wrong if I want to feel secure about anything,
yes,
any materialistic thing, I would say, is it wrong?
No, so that is going to be a healthy greed. That's what we are going to do tomorrow. That's what we're going to do tomorrow.
Okay. And what about this part, body conscious?
Body conscious, when, for example, I'm very greedy. Okay, I'm greedy. I want money, I want power. Who needs money and power? Vindri once. Who is Vindri? This physical body has been named Vindri. Okay, so Vindri is labeled to this body. It is this body says, I want power, I want domination, I want the power of money, I want this, that. This is the body conscious. This is body conscious. Now, if I travel to my own mool, if I travel to my soul conscious, my identity, Mantu Jot Swarup hai. When I travel to that place, then that person says, what? Jo hai is what my need. My need. मैं संतुष्ट था, मैं सबर संतोष दया धर्म सब कुछ है because that is soul conscious. Automatically what happens? मैं इस body विच ही है गया, but मेरा मन जो रह गया ना, वो soul conscious विच चला.
Satisfied.
Satisfied. Satisfaction says that we are in the soul conscious. ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਧਰਮ ਦਇਆ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਧਰਮ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਾ, it shows that we are in the soul conscious. ਖਾਲੀ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈ, body ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈ. ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਪਾਣੇ ਹਾਏ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਵਾਂ ਡਰੈਸ ਉਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੁਣ, that means I'm in the soul conscious. ਅਗਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਾਂ doesn't matter, yeah, spending so much money is okay, I must look very nice, I take it in a very, I'm got into the soul conscious. Sabar santokha. It is actually the frame of mind. साड़ा मन कितने तक evaluate करता है, अब मन introspect की करता है.
So basically, wrong and right is also in the mind.
Yes, it's in the mind. You don't have to finish this body.
Yeah.
We have to live in this body. ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਲ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਪੁੱਛਣਗੇ, what's your name? I will say, I am soul. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪਾਗਲ ਅੱਗੇ ਚੱਲ. I say, I am Vindriko. Where do you stay? I stay in so and so place. I have to give my this thing because this is how the world, the society is. But at the same time, I have in my mind that I'm not boosting. Anji Maya Vindri, you know I am so and so. I am the wife of so and so. Mera car hai, I have got see it's badi meri koti. No. Then that shows what? You're totally into the body conscious. Anji.
Thank you. We can move up to the next question. Hanji Rajwan ji, unmute karo ji.
नमस्कार बुआ जी.
सत श्री अकाल बच्चा.
बुआ जी, मैं दो थॉट्स, एक इंसिडेंट और एक एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर दूं. दूसरी बात, लेट मी
थोड़ी आवाज बहुत टूट रही है, आवाज बहुत टूट रही है.
आ रही है?
हाँ, होना आइए क्लियर नाउ.
हाँ जी. फिर कर बैसो हर जन प्यारे, सदगुरु तुमरे कार सवारे. जी, ਇਹਦਾ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਮਾਇਆ. ਮਾਇਆ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਉਹ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦੀ. ਅਰਜੁਨ ਦੇ ਤੇਰਾ कि माया चित्त भर में इष्ट मित्र एक बांधवे. एक कोई मित्र आ गया, जैसे काम क्रोध लोभ, एक कोई भी मित्र आ गया तो गए तुसी काम से.
यस.
तीजा एक इंसिडेंट है. ड्यूरिंग दिस एक बंदा आईसीयू में मैंने वो आईसीयू में ठीक हो गया. ठीक हो गया. बहुत पैसा लाखों पैसा खर्चा किया ते सारे रिलेटिव घर वाले खुश हो गए, मगर वो रो रहा सीगा. सब ये और खुशी दे आंसू आ. क्या फिर जब वो आंसू रुक ही नहीं रहे थे तो उन्हें पूछा तू रो क्यों रहा? वो कहता तो बहुत बड़ी गलती होगी, मैं रब नूं भुल गया ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ. ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਪੈਸਾ ਖਰਚਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਕਸੀਜਨ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਰੱਬ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੂਰੀ ਦੇ. ਲਾਸਟ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰੋ. ਜਦ ਮੈਂ ਸਕੂਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀ, ਡਿਊਰਿੰਗ ਮਾਈ ਸਕੂਲ ਡੇਜ਼ ਆਈ ਵਾਸ ਗੁੱਡ ਇਨ ਅਰਿਥਮੈਟਿਕ. ਸੋ ਆਈ ਸਮ ਅਰਿਥਮੈਟਿਕ ਬੁੱਕਸ. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਤਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੇ ਸਕॉलर
Your voice, Rajwant, your voice is breaking.
अच्छा आर्यभट्ट वगैरह है ना, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਾਰਮੂਲੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਨੇ ਕਲਾਸਮੇਟ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਭਰਾ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦੇ। ਹਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਕਜ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਈਅਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੌਟਾ ਦੇंगे। मैं तो उन्होंने लौटाए नहीं तो मेरे कजिन भी वंचित हो गए। तो कदे कदे शेयर करना भी नुकसान हो जाता। तो ये सारे
there are a lot of laws working there. You have already done so many laws with me. Find out which law is working. अगर तुझे शेयर किया दिता तो उसने नहीं वापस किया तो understand what law is working. I think now you know so many laws. See what is the compensation and the correspondence. Find out on these laws. Anji, who's this PQ, PG? Who's PG?
Actually, quickly I'll ask Padma.
Okay.
Okay, I'll quickly ask one question. So for people like of my generation, like we are exposed to so many things and it's fiercely competitive world. Like if you ask me personally, I was never in favor of competition since first standard. से भी मुझे पसंद ही नहीं, but can't help it. You have to live in this world. You have to be a part of the competition. अभी मेरा प्रश्न ऐसा है कि मुझे my father always used to tell me, अरे always look like those rag pickers. वो रैग पिकर लेडीज आती है सुबह 4-5 बजे, कचरा जमा करती है सुबह से उठ के, लेकिन हमेशा स्माइलिंग रहती है, धूप में बारिश में काम करती है, उनकी तरफ देखो और क्रिब मत करो अपने लाइफ के बारे में। ही यूज्ड टू टेल मी माय फादर ऑलवेज। अभी मैं सोच रही हूँ आज की तारीख में मेरा मान लीजिए प्रोफेशनल लाइफ इज हॉरेबल। इवन इफ आई गिव 1000%, आई हैव बीन गिविंग फॉर इयर्स टुगेदर, रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं मिलेगा। पगार मिल रही है ना, लेके चुप बैठो, ठीक है ना, इतना ही है। That is the life of many Indians. Okay, and I'm not the only one. अभी मैं आपको ये एग्जांपल देके क्वेश्चन पूछूं, मान लीजिए मैं स्कूल में टीचर हूँ और मैं 5th स्टैंडर्ड की टीचर हूँ। अभी मुझे क्या है कि मुझे स्कूल में मेरा जो सब्जेक्ट है मैंने और अच्छे से पढ़ाना है, बिकॉज और भी टीचर्स आ रही है मेरी जूनियर टीचर्स जो मेरे से अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रही है। तो प्रिंसिपल सुपरवाइजर देखेंगे ना इसका परफॉर्मेंस दिन ब दिन कम होते जा रहा है कि बढ़ते जा रहा है कि नहीं। और दूसरी बात आई हैव टू आल्सो फोकस, ये मेरा कब देयर आर 2 ways कि आई परफॉर्म माय बेस्ट बट फिर भी प्रिंसिपल विल कंपेयर मी टू अदर टीचर्स एंड देयर लेसन्स। एंड सेकंड वे कि भाई बच्चे मुझे पसंद करते हैं कि नहीं। अभी मैं क्या सोचूंगी मैं परफॉर्म करूँ लेकिन बच्चे मुझे कैसे, तो मुझे ग्रीड भी है कि मुझे ऊपर भी जाना है और मुझे जेलसी भी कंपटीशन में खुद के अंदर ही आ रही कि अरे ये बच्चा ना 3rd स्टैंडर्ड में जो टीचर के साथ पढ़ रहा था वो अभी तो उसी टीचर को पसंद कर रहा है, वो मेरे साथ इतना कंफर्टेबल नहीं है। तो मैं अंदर से इनसिक्योर भी हो गई और मैं बोल रही मुझे और अच्छा कैसे करना, मुझे और अच्छा। तो हाउ टू स्ट्राइक दैट बैलेंस, बिकॉज वर्ल्ड इज कॉम्पिटिटिव, यू हैव टू सर्वाइव इन दिस वर्ल्ड even to earn daily bread and butter as a learned person. I'm not even saying educated. तो करना ही है। अगर तुमको वर्कर बनना है ना, कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट वर्कर या काम वाली बाई बनना है, उधर कंपटीशन नहीं है। बट अगर इफ यू आर लर्नेड और तुमको व्हाइट कॉलर जॉब करनी है बेयर मिनिमल भी पैसा लेके, तो कंपटीशन में होना ही होना है। यू हैव टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ इट, लाइक इट और प्लीज एनलाइटन हाउ टू मैनेज द बैलेंस।
See what happens when we go on to these type of jobs, when we are doing in offices or schools and all. You have to take your own responsibility. Okay, whatever you are, you get a salary that is fixed for everyone. Kis sabhi salary mil jani. Either you are working in an office or you're working in a school or any other institute. Salary is fixed. You're getting it. Now, what is your responsibility? That whatever duty is given to you, you give your 100%. You give your 100% and be very loyal and give your 100%. Do not bother what the other teachers are doing or what the other ones are saying. Because when we are watching and seeing, then the comparison starts. Our energy changes. Which was flawless, giving 100%, suddenly we are watching the others, we are watching the principal, we are watching the bosses, and they are appreciating. And then you know what happened? A type of a comparison starts coming inside me. A type of, a little bit of stress starts coming to me. That brings negativity into me. Why? Because I have started watching the outside world and I've got into comparison. And because I'm going to comparison, what is the undercurrent saying? Because of it leads to greed. It leads to greed. No, अब मैं और ही बढ़िया करूं, मैं और ही बढ़िया करूं, but और ही बड़ा करने का मतलब ये है कि I have to give my 100%. You are responsible only for yourself. In any working place, give your 100% and your salary will be coming to you. What others are doing, when we keep outside, looking outside this physical body, then we come into comparison. Then we come into what? मैंने तो इतना अच्छा किया, उसको फिर भी वाह-वाह मिल गई. और मैंने इतना किया, बच्चा उसको कर रहा है. This is what happens. When you just look after yourself and your own internal journey, mark my words, your internal energy is so beautiful that that energy will work and it will start, the law of attraction will start. But because we are looking around and then we say, oh, that person is, because comparison has started. And when comparison comes, means immediately a negative force, because this comparison is bringing a negative force, bringing stress into you, is bringing pain into you. So this becomes negative. Now this negative force is also going to attract. Imagine every force that comes inside you, negative or positive, the law of attraction will work. You bring in positive, it'll attract positive. If you bring in negative, it'll attract negative. So who's responsible? It is you who are responsible. Everyone is responsible for whatever is coming into our life. Whatever we are attracting, we are responsible for it. So when you are working in a certain place, please give your 100%. You are getting your salary. You don't need, because you cannot change anyone. Everyone has their own way of thinking. They have their own mindset. All people go in the rat race of comparison. आज मैं भी जाऊंगी, मैं भी देखा, अरे उसने इतना किया, उसको ये मिल रहा है, उसको ये मिल गया, मैंने जाना, मैंने ये वर्क लेना, आज मेरे को इतनी तनख्वाह मिलनी है, मैंने ये काम 100% करके देना है, खत्म, मेरी छुट्टी यहीं तक है. I don't have to see, but we human being always have in this competitive world of watching. हाँ, ये बात अलग है. अगर मेरे को अभी थोड़ा सा sustain के लिए I need a higher salary and all, I will see to it. I can do another job where I can sustain myself, because we all have to sustain. We have a desire. We have to sustain ourselves. When we for sustaining, we need a little bit more money, then we go and see for another job. But जिस job में आपको पैसा मिल रहा है और आपको एक allotted work हो गया है, give your 100%. That's the main thing. Give your 100%. And don't look at anything else. हम जहाँ पे भी हमारी नजर कहीं बाहर चली गई, negativity is going to, doorways are open for all the negativity to enter. वो क्यों कर रहा है, वो उसको नहीं किया, मैंने ज्यादा किया, उसने कम किया, आज बच्चे उसको कैसे कर रहे हैं, वो कल आई है, कल की आई, उसने किया. This all come. But be just focus on yourself.
Thank you so much. But एक ही क्वेश्चन, कभी कभी क्या होता है ना, जो फ्रेंड्स होते हैं या दूसरे भी कलीग होते हैं जो बाहर की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्कूल में होते हैं, तू इतना मेहनत करे तो वो क्या मिल रहा है, बाहर चल इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में, ऑनलाइन भी मिलता है वहाँ पे करने को, इतने पैसे मिलते हैं. But it obviously comes with a lot of other baggage factors which I don't know whether I will be able to handle. So
no, everyone can handle, bacha. Never say that we cannot handle. We all can handle. We are very powerful entities. We have the power. We have the power. हमारे पास सारे tools हैं. We can create anything, but you have to be ready for it. You have to be ready first. You have to believe in yourself that yes, I can do. I can change the world. But how to change the world? I change the world inside. If I change, the world changes. अगर कोई कहते हैं कि उसमें यहाँ पर तनख्वाह ज़्यादा मिलती है, listen to all. Use your brain.
नहीं मतलब वैसे नहीं, मैं खुद को कंपटीशन में नहीं, खुद दूसरों को ऑब्जर्व करके मैं खुद कंपेयर नहीं करूंगी अपने आप को. लेकिन लोग जब ये बोलते हैं ना, मतलब वो ऐसा दिखाते हैं कि क्या अपने आप को बेवकूफ बना रही है, किसको दे, कहाँ पहुंच गए लोग ऐसे. तो मुझे लगता है अरे वाकई में नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट कंपटीशन. एक्चुअल लाइफ में बाहर क्या चल रहा है, मैं इधर ही बैठ गई हूँ एंड मुझसे बोलते तो कंफर्ट जोन में बैठ गई, ये वो. तो उसकी वजह से
you have to believe in yourself, no? But you have to believe in yourself. Are you satisfied? Are you happy with it? मेरा घर चल रहा है. I'm able to sustain. I am happy. Happiness is more important. Happiness is more important. अगर मेरे को उस चीज से I'm able to sustain and I'm happy with it, it's okay. Let the world talk. World has to talk. संसार में यही तो चीज है. People are going to talk. हाँ जी अर्चना, last, हाँ जी आ जाओ.
It's a small thing. In other words, can we say that rather trying to be the best teacher, we have to be a good teacher. Try to be a good teacher
Yes.
rather than best teacher.
Yes, best means again a competitive. I have to be the best, but a good teacher by 100%.
Otherwise, I have to compromise with my qualities for that rat race.
Yes, then there will be stress. There'll be so much. खाली यही सोच के that I have to be the best करने में what happen? उसी में हमको stress आ जाएगा. और stress आ गया means negativity आ गई. और negativity आ गई तो इसका मतलब कि बाहर जाके ये it will throw that energy outside. And what is going to attract? Same thing back. Understand the exchange of energy, but this is very, very, very important. Whatever you create in your mind, whatever you create in your subconscious mind, it's going to ooze out. That is why we say our auras and all are depicting what we are inside. When we go under aura reading, we say our aura is black. It shows that अंदर में मैल है, इतना गुस्सा, bitterness है. When the aura changes its color into yellow and all, then we see that yes, there is something. When it turns into a little green, then we say, okay, it is turning what? That we are full of love. When we say that it is going white aura, that shows that yes, spirituality is there. How is it going? It's because मन के अंदर से जो energy बाहर छोड़ती है, वो ही aura बनाता है. वही aura बनाता है और उसी को attract करता है बाहर से. This is the power of the thing, of your thoughts. हाँ जी Arvinder.
We'll be sharing a questionnaire on lust, which we had done on Monday and Tuesday. And this is purely for your self-evaluation. It can be done over the weekend. Any queries, any questions on that can be started, and we'll take it up in the open forum on the 11th day. Thank you all for joining. Good night.
So all, please give me a smile before going. Please all open, get onto the camera, open your camera, come on. Yes, all of you, come on. Yes. Yes, all of you, yes, I want to see all of you. Yes, Kaval Kohli, come on. Rita, come on. PS Kohli, come on. Yes, all of you. Manmohan Kaur, yes. Yes, Kiran, all of you. Yes, Kiran, I can see all of you. Smile, it costs nothing. But you will have a beautiful sleep tonight and you'll get up with a smile. So, we always see you and I just love you. Padma, I love you. So, all of you, see you on Monday and be charged. Get all your quiz done and all. And please go and assimilate whatever we have done today. Assimilate and work all throughout the Saturday and Sunday. Work with it. So, we see you on Monday. Good night. Have a nice, dreamy sleep.